Hi everyone, this is Chris Kokkinos here, the past president of the SMRT, and I'm very pleased to have with me today Dr. Martin Graves, who's the head of MR Physics at the Cambridge University Hospitals in the UK. Hi Martin, thank you
Hi.
for joining us.
It's an absolute pleasure, Chris.
It's great to have you here with us. And for those who are not aware, Dr. Graves has been in the MR industry for a very long time. Many of us have seen his lectures, and he's helped educate a lot of us in the MR profession. And
I was there back in 1984 was when I started on an 800 Gauss vertical field MR system.
Is that right? Tell us a bit about that. It was obviously, well, when did I kind of started? When did I start? About 94 it was. So yeah, things have changed a lot since then. What have you seen as the major the major changes in the MR industry?
Yeah,
many of them?
I think I've seen quite a lot of developments over that time. I think it was a Scientific American article by Ian Pikett, who I think at the time was working in Peter Mansfield's lab in Nottingham, who wrote this article on nuclear magnetic resonance imaging, and I thought, yeah, that's what I want to do. I think that was about 1982, something like that, 1983. So yeah,
wow.
I sort of had my trajectory prepared from there on. I'm not very imaginative, so once I get an idea back then, I can run with it for, the odd 35 years or so.
And you've been running very well with it. That's fantastic. That's where it all started. And of course, you've been co-author of the textbook Picture to Proton, with which a lot of MR professionals, me including, have referred to during the years on many occasions, and you've educated a lot of people. And I'm really pleased to say, and I really wish to thank you for contributing this year to our annual ISMRM-ISMRT meeting with the SMRT Masterclasses that we're rolling out this year. And we're inviting MR professionals or people at the peak of in the MR field to present and educate people on MR. So, and on that note, Martin, what do you think? I mean, the importance of having people educated in MR when they're involved in the industry. How do you view things in that space?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been, very passionate about education from the early days, really, and I think it's amazing that radiographers and technologists really want to get under the hood of the MRI scanner these days. There's so much technology that's there now that's coming out on a 6-monthly basis from the manufacturers, and it's really hard sometimes to even get all the details about what's going on with some of these concepts. You can go to the ISMRM meeting, people are already operating at a pretty high level, and you don't often try and sort of get into the basics so that you can build people up to what's going on with that. And I think the really great thing, I'm incredibly honoured to be asked by the SMRT to put together this masterclass, and it's been really fantastic to have, I don't want to scare people, but almost unlimited time. We put together some presentations from between 60 and 90 minutes. So it's really great to be able to actually try and take people through the whole range of stuff, and not just half-hour snippets where people are trying to cram a lot of stuff in there. Hopefully this is at a suitable pace that people can actually maybe clarify some areas of misunderstanding, maybe learn some new things, or maybe just reinforce what they already know, just hearing it maybe differently. The good thing about MR education is we need a lot of repetition time. We need a lot of signal averaging, really, I think, to sort out some of the signal from the noise. And hopefully this adds a little bit more signal and not too much extra noise.
I think it definitely does that. I've had the opportunity to look at a few of them, and I should point out there for all the people listening or watching that there are a total of seven sessions, varying from 60 to 90 minutes, and the content is absolutely amazing, and I highly encourage every technologist or MR professional, anyone in the industry, clinicians, physicists, to actually jump on and look at these these lectures, because it is a complete course. It's unprecedented, and it's something that we want to continue doing. But we've started with one of the best, and I've got to say it is absolutely fantastic. We've learnt a few things already, and even the I like the titles. They're very catchy, Martin. I like that. It's important to have a bit of fun at the same time.
Absolutely. I think I follow on from Donald McRobbie with his catchy titles in the Picture to Proton book. So I may not be in the same class as Donald, but I've tried to do my best with some of these. There's a few titles we had to miss out as they might have been a bit too near the knuckle, but hopefully none of these will offend too many people.
No, but look, it's
particularly on the hardware lecture, which I've chosen to entitle Field of Dreams. So I hope I don't offend any Kevin Costner fans with that one.
No, they're very catchy, and yeah, people need to jump on and definitely have a look. And I have I think, Martin, one of my questions is going to be, you've obviously educated a lot of people indirectly and directly, but what have you found to be one of the most challenging, topics or areas in MR physics to teach or for people to grasp? Or an area that people perhaps thought they understood, then realised, oh, actually I had this wrong the whole 20 years of my career.
Yeah, I think spatial encoding is something that challenges a lot of people with that. Yeah. So I've tried to create some animations in the presentation that hopefully get it across. I understand it a lot better from making the animations, so hopefully people will like them. Hopefully it's not too Marmite. I don't know what's the equivalent in Australia. It's not Vegemite, isn't it? Really?
Well,
hopefully it's either you like it or you hate it. Yeah.
No, I think there are a lot of concepts in MR physics that people need to understand to be better operators and better in the field of MR. And again, not just for technologists and radiographers, but clinicians across the board, our scientists and so forth. So everyone is welcome to join. And Martin, one thing that I love about the ISMRM and the SMRT is the whole community feel. And unfortunately this year we're not able to attend in person, but we're trying to make it as dynamic as we can. And you've certainly managed to do that very well in your masterclass series. But what do you enjoy most about the ISMRM and the SMRT and the community that we're a part of?
Wow, that's a tough question. I think it's just that opportunity to go and hear the best of the best giving presentations, that opportunity to network with friends across the globe that I've made through my career in MRI. And it's just fantastic to meet up with people, hear what they're doing, see what your students have gone on to do, catch up with them again. I'm not much of the social media generation at the moment. I much prefer to actually go and talk to people. So meeting people, talking about your work, talking about their work, just seeing how their careers are going, seeing the global state of MRI is what really drives me to really enjoy the meeting. And then I think the teaching sessions, are really outstanding. As I said before, the rate of change of technology in MR is just so rapid that you can always go and you need to learn something about a new technique that you only got published a few months ago, and to hear the authors sit there and explain to you how it works, it's just it's one of the best weeks of my year.
Yeah,
and I hope that going virtual it will be equally as good. And what I'm really looking forward to is the question and answer sessions. I really do hope that people watch the videos and they have questions. I didn't really understand what you meant here, or can you go into a bit more detail on this topic? So I'm a touch apprehensive about what kind of things I might get asked, but there's nothing more I like than hearing people's questions and sparking ideas from that.
And I think, yeah, absolutely, Martin. And I think the fact that we're now in this virtual space and people are more comfortable with the Zoom situation than we were in the past. But I think there are positives. Obviously, we weren't intending to run a full virtual meeting, but looking at it now and looking at the program that's already out there for people to review in advance. I think it is great. And one thing I think it will do, it'll enable people who unfortunately can't attend the annual meeting to actually get involved, be a part of it, watch Dr. Graves' amazing series of lectures and teaching courses, and actually stop, rewind, and continue to kind of try to work it out before they get on and talk to him in a live QA. That is just absolutely amazing, because I know I'm not the sort of person to put my hand up during a lecture and ask a question, but in this forum and format, we can do that.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I hope there are even more people who are able to participate who have difficulty getting the registration and the airfare and the accommodation to make it to an ISMRM or SMRT meeting. So I think hopefully a bigger audience. And again, the fantastic thing about putting that effort in is that it's there as a resource. It's available for people wherever and whenever they want to be able to try and brush up on some MR physics, or say it's I think going virtual, probably not something I want to do every time, but I think
No.
Taking all this kind of material and having it out there is something that will hopefully be good for a generation or two of MR physicists and radiographers until it's too far out of date. But most of the principles have been with us since the early days, so hopefully
absolutely. I think
it's only, we might not touch on some of the ultra new stuff, but the basics are there.
But I think it's a lot easier to grasp the new stuff as it evolves if you have a very solid understanding of the basics. And it's funny that we call them basics, because I don't think there's anything basic about MR physics, but for most of us, unlike you. But I think that it's important to continue to learn and to
absolutely,
you can all learn, whether you're an educator or someone who's just starting.
Yeah, and I've even, not to do too much of a spoiler, but there's even a bit of maths revision in that first lecture there. So people, I sort of remember all these sines and cosines, but I think it's good to refresh people's memory about some of these basic trigonometry and, a little bit about integration and differentiation, just so that some of this, as some of my colleagues call it, what's all these hieroglyphics that I see, whenever any physicist gets up and talks about it. When I say, it's not really, it actually is it's quite easy once people just take the time to explain to you what's going on. It's really not that hard to follow. Most of these mathematical ideas.
Absolutely. And again, I think the way you've delivered your lectures and the fact that it does sort of begin at one level and continues to grow, and I think it's a great way to review and to learn, and whatever level people are at in their career, I think everyone should jump on and have a look. I know I've already had a look at a few, and there's a lot of content. I can't imagine how much time it would have taken you to put this together. It's an enormous amount of work.
It's been a while.
Enormous amount of work. So thank you again on behalf of the SMRT and the ISMRM community for putting in that effort, and it's going to certainly help educate a lot of people and engage a lot of people in the community and get us back to that level of making sure we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, because that's what it's all about.
Fantastic. It's a real pleasure, and it's been really good talking to you.